Hello, I'm going to show you how to make biker shorts out of a shirt using an old pair of biker shorts. Now, the size I made was about a size medium, and I used a 3X t-shirt, which is unnecessary. The only reason why I used this one is because I had the most of this size t-shirt here. But for a size medium biker shorts, a large t-shirt would do. And considering that the material of the t-shirt is 100% polyester. Now, to start this off, I flipped my old biker shorts inside out, and I'm getting ready to cut the elastic out of the waistband. Now, use my seam ripper to start it off just because I don't want to completely destroy this waistband, and then I took my fabric scissors to finish cutting around the waistband, staying as close to the seam as possible. Now, there's nothing wrong with making a snip with your scissors and cutting the waistband out. I just choose to do it this way. Now that I have the waistband off, I'm going to go ahead and remove the threads to detach the elastic from the waistband and from the tags. The elastic itself is sewn together, and I'm going to keep it that way. I don't want to remove those threads. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these shorts in half. Stand on one side of the seam. It doesn't really matter what side you choose. Just make sure you stay on that side of the seam when you're cutting. In my opinion, doing this will make the process much easier when you get ready to sew, since biker shorts are asymmetrical. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut through the leg part, staying again as close to the seam as possible. And then I'm going to lay it out on my t-shirt because this is now my pattern for the biker shorts. Here I'm lining up my pattern with the bottom of this t-shirt, and it's actually a trick to take one less step in sewing these up. The next thing to do is to cut around this pattern. As you can see, I placed the waistband on top. This is a trick to not have to measure out anything. In addition to that, if you stay close to the seam when creating your pattern with the biker shorts, seam allowance is already included. Now I'm going to go ahead and serge the front and the back seam. You'll know the difference between the front and the back seam because the back seam sits much lower than the front seam. And you'll see that when we get ready to serge the crotch. I'm using my Brother 1034DX to serge this, and I have my presser foot pressure at 2, the left needle at 2.5, the right needle at 4, the upper looper at 3.5, the lower looper at 3.5, the stitch length at 2, and a differential at 1. Okay, now I'm going to get ready to serge the crotch and close up the legs on these biker shorts. I just grabbed it from the bottom, opened it up, and made sure everything was straight. Remember, the back seam is much lower than the front seam, so it'll look a little weird, but everything will come together once you close this off. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring my biker shorts back to the serger and close off the crotch area. Now I do want to mention, if you don't have a serger, it's perfectly fine to use a normal sewing machine for all your seams. Just be sure to back stitch. Now I'm going to take my biker shorts back to the drawing board, and I'm going to open them up, lay them out, and just look at all of my seams to make sure everything is good before I take it over to put the elastic in, creating that waistband. Before I create that waistband, I'm going to go ahead and serge around the edges. This is actually not a step that's necessary because you can always fold it over and closing up the waistband. Because I'm not folding it over, I'm going to go ahead and serge the edge. Now here I'm taking my elastic, wrapping it around the area where my waistband will be, just to kind of eyeball how low I want my elastic to be for the waistband. Now here I am at my mini sewing machine, creating and closing up that waistband. The first thing I'll do is attach my elastic on both sides of these biker shorts onto the seam. When you're doing this, place your elastic exactly where you want it to be, and make sure you have enough material to cover the elastic when you're closing it up. Y'all, we almost done. This is the last and final step, closing everything off. I have to admit, this might be the most challenging part for some people because you do have to pull at the elastic and the fabric at the same time while closing everything off. But y'all, look at this. We are done. This is one of the easiest and quickest ways to make biker shorts. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Good day.